During construction site cleanup, a mobile crane was disassembling another crane structure when it got hold of a heavy component. The load proved too heavy, causing the mobile crane to tip over. Workers who were holding onto its posts were carried with it and eventually fell from high up, resulting in injuries and a chaotic scene. This incident highlights the dangers of lifting oversized or unstable loads with cranes. All components must be properly assessed for weight limits, and no personnel should hold onto or ride on machinery. Strict adherence to lifting protocols, proper load calculations, and clear exclusion zones is essential to prevent tipping accidents and serious injuries on construction sites. At an oil change shop, a worker was guiding a car into position when the driver accidentally pressed the accelerator too hard. The vehicle surged forward, crashing straight into a wall and crushing a worker who was just sitting by. Fortunately, the worker guiding the car had stepped out of the way in time and avoided injury, but the impact left the other worker pinned and severely hurt. This incident highlights the dangers of uncontrolled vehicle movement in tight workspaces. Drivers must operate vehicles slowly and deliberately, while workers should avoid sitting or standing in vehicle paths. Proper training, clear communication, and safety protocols are essential to prevent crushing injuries in automotive workshops. During an AC installation, a worker climbed a ladder that leaned against a building while carrying an air conditioning unit on his head and shoulder. The combined weight proved too much for the ladder, which bent and slipped from the wall, causing the worker to fall hard to the ground along with the AC unit. The impact left him injured and the equipment damaged. This incident highlights the dangers of overloading ladders and carrying heavy equipment unsafely. Ladders must be rated for the combined weight of the worker and materials, and heavy units should be lifted using mechanical aids or hoists. Proper training, secure ladder placement, and adherence to load limits are essential to prevent severe fall injuries. At a construction site parking lot, a worker who was just on standby was suddenly run over by a concrete mixer truck. Despite the massive weight of the vehicle and the severity of the incident, the worker miraculously managed to walk away without serious injury, astonishing co-workers who rushed to his aid. This incident highlights the extreme dangers of heavy vehicles operating in areas with pedestrian workers. Strict traffic management, clear pedestrian exclusion zones, and constant awareness of vehicle blind spots are essential to prevent struck-by incidents. Workers and drivers must maintain communication and vigilance at all times to ensure safety in construction parking areas, even during routine operations. During an electrical line installation, 2 linemen working on live wires were suddenly electrocuted. Their coworkers rushed to disconnect them from the energized lines to prevent further injury. The sudden contact caused immediate shocks, unaliving both workers and creating a highly dangerous situation for anyone nearby. This incident highlights the extreme hazards of working with live electrical systems. Lines should always be de-energized and verified before beginning work whenever possible. Proper personal protective equipment, insulated tools, and adherence to lockout/tagout procedures are critical. Clear communication, situational awareness, and trained response are essential to prevent electrocution and ensure safety in electrical installation work. In a luxury Chinese mall, a cleaning lady accidentally tripped and fell into an open shark tank located in the center of the building. Fortunately, the sharks had already been fed, and she was quickly rescued by mall security before any serious harm occurred. The sudden fall caused panic among bystanders and highlighted the immediate danger posed by unsecured attractions in public spaces. This incident underscores the importance of proper safety barriers and warning systems around hazardous installations. Open tanks with live animals must be secured, clearly marked, and monitored at all times. Vigilance, training, and rapid response protocols are essential to prevent injuries in public entertainment areas. In a Shanghai mall, a shark-filled aquarium suddenly exploded, sending a massive wave of water, glass shards, and debris flooding the surrounding area. Shoppers standing near the tank were struck by the violent surge, suffering cuts and injuries from both the water force and flying glass. This incident highlights the dangers of pressurized or structurally compromised aquariums in public spaces. Tanks must be regularly inspected, reinforced, and secured to prevent catastrophic failures, both for the safety of the animals and people. Barriers, clear exclusion zones, and emergency response plans are essential to minimize injuries and protect the public during unexpected structural failures. In an old hotel, two intoxicated men stumbled near an elevator. As they tripped, the elevator door cover unexpectedly opened, causing both to fall into the empty shaft. Fortunately, the men only suffered minor injuries and were quickly rescued by hotel staff before any serious harm occurred. This incident highlights the dangers of exposed elevator shafts and the importance of functional safety mechanisms. Elevator doors and covers must be regularly inspected and maintained to prevent accidental openings. Warning signage, restricted access, and attentive supervision in older buildings are essential to protect both staff and guests from falls into open shafts, even in seemingly minor slip-and-trip situations. In a junkyard, a man opened the tip of a pressurized tank, causing it to release a burst of white gas. The sudden pressure turned the tank into a projectile, launching it toward a nearby building and puncturing its walls on impact. The unexpected force sent debris flying, creating a hazardous environment for anyone nearby and damaging property in the surrounding area. This incident highlights the extreme dangers of handling pressurized containers without proper precautions. Tanks must be depressurized and stabilized before opening, and personnel should maintain a safe distance. Proper training, protective equipment, and controlled handling procedures are essential to prevent explosive projectile accidents in industrial and scrap environments. On a town street, a truck was traveling along a bumpy road when a worker riding in the cargo bed lost his footing and fell. Tragically, the truck ran over him before it could be stopped. Bystanders witnessed the incident and immediately rushed to assist the unconscious worker, calling for emergency help while trying to keep him stable until medical personnel arrived. This incident highlights the dangers of riding in unsecured cargo areas on moving vehicles. Workers must be properly positioned and secured at all times, and trucks should not carry personnel in unsafe areas. Outside a wood plank facility, a worker who finished tying up a delivery while standing on the elevated forks of a forklift lost his balance as the forklift backed up and fell from the height, breaking bones upon impact with the ground, and was hospitalized and unfit for work for months. This incident highlights the extreme dangers of standing on forklift forks or any elevated surfaces not designed for personnel. Workers should always use proper ladders, platforms, or aerial lifts when working at height. Adhering to equipment usage guidelines, wearing personal protective equipment, and enforcing safe work practices are essential to prevent severe fall injuries in industrial environments. In a glass manufacturing plant, a man was on break in the lounge when a sudden, massive rumble shook the building, and sand, dust, and debris from a nearby explosion in the boiler room erupted into the lounge. He was fortunately safe and was able to get out and evacuate. This incident highlights the extreme dangers of poorly maintained or malfunctioning industrial boilers. Regular inspections, proper ventilation, and strict adherence to safety protocols are critical to preventing catastrophic explosions. Emergency response planning and immediate evacuation procedures are essential to protect employees in high-risk plant areas.